What? Are you guys mad? Comparing a twin cylinder motorcycle with a single cylinder one? Look at the price gap, it doesn't even make sense. Now, these are the sort of things which I initially heard in the office when I first pitched the idea of comparing these two Scrambler motorcycles together. Even I was a little skeptical, but when we saw these beauties parked next to each other, it all made absolute sense. We rode these motorcycles hard that day and we had plans to take them amidst the wilderness too. However, that couldn't happen and we had to come back to our office to complete the shoot because something happened with the Bear 650 which shouldn't happen. Now, before we start spilling the beans, here's an interesting fact for you guys. This comparison features a motorcycle from an iconic British bike maker, the Triumph Scrambler 400X, and another motorcycle, an Anglo-Indian one, which also has British roots, the Royal Enfield Bear 650. And you're watching it on a channel which falls under the umbrella of British Broadcasting Corporation. Now, before you guys label us anti-national or anti-establishment for that matter, I'm going to reassure you guys that this comparison is going to be as Indian as they come. मेरा वड़ा पाव किधर है? It turned out to be a gorgeous morning with these two motorcycles and a slightly confusing one as well because we couldn't decide that which one looks better than the other one. However, we are clear in our heads that overall, which motorcycle is the clear winner. The Triumph Scrambler 400X looks more rugged and purpose-built out of the two. Thanks to the factory-fitted handguards, golden USD forks, headlamp protector grille, and a taller and a meaner stance. The Scrambler 400X, it continues to impress with its quality levels, especially at this price point. It is not like the skies are dark over the other horizon, because lately, Royal Enfield's quality levels have gone several notches above from what they used to be, leaving the oil stains behind. The Bear 650 is also a testimony to that, as it looks and feels robust. If you are after road presence, then it is the Bear 650 which is going to make you look more macho because it looks bulkier than the Scrambler 400X. The Bear 650 is also assisted by a trippy color palette. When it comes to the instrument cluster, clearly the Bear smacks the Scrambler down with its round TFT cluster that is borrowed from the Himalayan and Gorilla. It offers Bluetooth connectivity, while the Scrambler, it misses out on it completely. It might seem like a tie for now, but this is where things start to get a little interesting. On one hand, we have the trusty old 648cc parallel twin engine from Royal Enfield which gets air oil cooling, and on the other hand, we have a thoroughly modern power plant from Triumph, which is a 398cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine. And to make things more clear, I'll just ask my editor to show the spec sheet which should be popping up on your screens right now. Better banana bro, like are you pissed at me? They like reading spec sheet, so please make a better one. Crammed all the details? Let's talk about how these motorcycles are to ride out in the real world. As far as character goes, the Bear 650 has oodles of it. Right from the word go, you get a bear hug of torque from it. The highlight of this engine remains its lovely character, refinement, and sprightly performance. It is also the torquiest 650 by Royal Enfield. Despite essentially being a thumper, the 650cc mill from Royal Enfield remains impressive in terms of performance and thrills offered to the rider. While both the motorcycles can clock 100 km per hour in less than 7 seconds, it is the Bear which makes it an event reaching up to that speed. It keeps on pulling hard even after that, and until speeds north of 140 km per hour, it remains refined. Now, that is the beauty of it, which the Scrambler 400X finds hard to replicate. Oral pleasure is also something that is more pronounced on the Bear 650 as its exhaust note sounds much deeper and raspier than the Scrambler. The gear shifts too are nice and smooth on the Bear 650, with the clutch being on the heavier side as compared to the Scrambler 400X. The Bear 650, it shines on the highway as it is the happier motorcycle out of the two when it comes to sitting at 120 km per hour all day long. The Scrambler 400X, on the other hand,
has its own character. Since it is powered by a high-revving single-cylinder engine, it feels more urgent than the Bear 650 despite being as fast as the Enfield. While the Bear pulls ahead, the Scrambler, it lunges forward. Its 30 kg lesser weight as compared to the Bear plays a key role here as it keeps up with the Bear even after crossing triple digit speeds. The Scrambler 2 pulls clean and hard even after crossing 140 km per hour, but at those kind of speeds, it is the Bear which feels more in its element. Compared to the Bear, the Scrambler's engine feels a little gruff and strained. It tries hard to keep the vibrations at bay, but at triple digit speeds, there's no escaping them.
This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This is my city, yeah, this is my team. If you talking, it's how to be nice.
However, there was something that happened with the Bear 650 during the shoot day, which basically rendered the motorcycle in a completely unrideable condition. And that was a bleak reminder of Royal Enfield's past.
ये ऑफिस में ऑयल स्टेन कहाँ से आया यार?
While the Bear 650 has an edge above the Scrambler 400X when it comes to engine and performance, the Scrambler 400X, it strikes back hard. Now both of these motorcycles, they perceive motorcycling a bit differently from each other, and that gap widens as soon as you sit on them. The Scrambler 400X particularly, it feels light and at home, while the Bear 650, it takes some time to get accustomed to. Now, given the narrowness of the Scrambler and lesser weight, it is also a far easier motorcycle to live on a day-to-day basis. And even the rider's triangle, it is straight off from the books because the Scrambler 400X, it provides the rider with an upright yet commanding stance. Now, the same cannot be said about the Bear 650 because on the Scrambler, you just feel like home. The moment you sit on it, you just want to set off on an adventure. The Bear 650 cannot replicate that because you have to invest some time to get accustomed to the rider's triangle, and that is basically because of the positioning on the handlebar. Now, when it comes to the foot pegs, the Bear 650 has slightly more forward set foot pegs as compared to the Scrambler, but the handlebar positioning of the Bear 650 is a little weird, and I took my own sweet time to get accustomed to it because it is tilted away from the rider. When it comes to the Scrambler, it is tilted towards the rider, so you're sitting like very upright on the Scrambler. But to sit on the Bear 650, to ride it the way it is meant to be ridden, you'll have to reach out for the bars and then crouch yourself a little forward because the handlebar are tilted away from the rider. That results in a slightly aggressive stance as compared to the Scrambler 400X, but we are pretty confident that over the longer hauls, it is the Scrambler 400X which is going to be a more comfortable place to be as compared to the Bear 650. However, if you're looking forward to building some muscles, getting the Bear 650 would prove to be very beneficial. If you're moving it around in the parking lot or just muscling it into the corners, it is going to help you a lot.
Better get right. This ain't no regular thing. I came for the
Since they are scramblers, there should be a reckless abandon associated with them. They shouldn't care of what's underneath it or who's riding it. I mean, a scrambler should be designed in such a way that it should be able to deal with legit everything without giving two. I mean, that is what a scrambler is, a reckless, a carefree motorcycle. And shoot me in the head for saying this, but a scrambler, a good scrambler, cannot be a master of fun. It has to be a jack of all trades. And when you consider that aspect, if you see both of these motorcycles from that spectacle, it is the Scrambler 400X which turns out to be a better scrambler than the Bear 650. Allow us to explain. When it comes to the Bear 650, it is not like Royal Enfield has botched up the entire job. I mean, they went to show our two sorts of suspension units and it shows. I mean, at the front it gets USB ports, source from Showa, and it shows. But the thing is, I have major issues with the rear suspension. Because despite the Bear 650 getting more suspension travel as compared to the Interceptor 650, despite getting more ground clearance as well, the rear suspension just doesn't settle at all, and that is not how it is supposed to be when you're making a good scrambler. Now, that being said, we shouldn't take the credits away from the front suspension at least, because it provides both suppleness as well as confidence to ride the Bear 650 hard, especially around corners. I mean, the confidence that the Bear 650 inspired, wasn't something that I was expecting it to. It was certainly better than the Interceptor 650. So it builds up on the Interceptor 650, but falls a little short when it comes to the Scrambler potential that should have been in the first place. Because you see, the front suspension takes care of most of the things, but the rear suspension is set up on the stepper side. And when you factor in the Indian road conditions, particularly Mumbai and around here and there, they are totally screwed up in the current scheme of things. And the Bear 650 wasn't able to deal with them with the poise that we found out on the Scrambler 400X.
The Scrambler 400X is also the more confident motorcycle around bends because it feels a lot more agile and more comfortable over undulations. Even when it comes to off-roading, which these Scramblers are destined to do, the Scrambler 400X is our pick out of the two because it is much more manageable and fills the rider with confidence. The Bear 650 on the other hand, it feels bulky and even the rear suspension cannot comply with off-roading. When it comes to braking performance, both the motorcycles could be slightly better. While the Bear 650 has strong braking on offer, it is let down by its sheer weight. On the other hand, despite being much lighter, the Scrambler 400X suffers the lack of sintered braking pads that the Speed 400 gets. However, the Scrambler does get switchable traction control, which the Bear 650 misses out on.
For a fair comparison and verdict, we'll just let it slide what happened with the Royal Enfield Bear 650. But even if we do that, it is the Triumph Scrambler 400X which makes a better case for itself as far as a Scrambler motorcycle goes. You see, a good Scrambler motorcycle should be light on its feet, and it should provide the rider with a reckless mindset that he shouldn't give two shits about whatever that he is riding on, the terrain, wherever the roads are taking him. He'll just go on his motorcycle. And in that case, it is the Triumph Scrambler 400X, which feels much more natural, which feels more like a Scrambler. The Bear 650, it is also an impressive motorcycle in its own right. It is the more powerful out of the two. It is more characterful out of the two. And if you are after road presence, it looks better than the Scrambler 400X. Again, very subjective, but it has better road presence as compared to the Scrambler 400X and arguably more features too, especially a better instrument cluster. So for the extra money, you're getting all of these things and one extra cylinder. But apart from these things, when you consider these motorcycles side by side, it is the Triumph Scrambler 400X which we would be putting our money on. Now, having ridden both of these motorcycles hard here in India, I can reaffirm something which I thought about these two motorcycles during the start of this comparison. The Royal Enfield Bear 650, it is made by an Indian company, but it is made for the international market, which is being offered in India as well. On the other hand, there's the Triumph Scrambler 400X, which is made by an iconic British bike maker like Triumph, but it is developed for Indian road conditions, but it is being offered in other countries as well. Now, on that ironical note, it is time to bid you guys goodbye. This is Anand Pandey from BBC Top Gear Mag India. If you still have any questions left, if you still have any confusion regarding these two scramblers, the comment section is all yours. We'll get back to you with all the right answers. And watch out for the comment section regarding the update for the Bear 650 as well. Merry Christmas, guys, from Top Gear India team. Now, this is the time that we should all be riding our vehicles, be it cars or motorcycles, hard. They are not your garage queens. Take them out. It is winters. It is holiday. What more reasons do you need? Even the rapper stick would agree, right? He's not throwing any gang signs anymore. But on that note, go fast. Don't die. Be safe out there. There should be someone waiting for you at your home. And even if there isn't, you should still be safe for your own goodness, for your own benefit, people.